Hello again. By now, you've run your very first Python program to test that your Python development environment is set up. Awesome job. In this module, we're going to deepen our learning of Python programming fundamentals so that we can build programs that use variables and perform basic calculations. Today, I'd like to introduce you to one of the key tools that we'll be using for our learning in this course, reading unfamiliar code. Yes, reading and trying to understand code that we've never seen before and where we might not even understand everything that's going on. What? So, there's actually two very important reasons why we're going to practice reading code right from the beginning. First is it's our secret weapon to customize your learning just to what you need to know. So, one of the key skills as a computer scientist is not only knowing how to teach yourself, because computer science and programming evolve so rapidly, we must be motivated self learners. We need to learn how to learn. And part of that is also knowing when we don't need to learn, right? Because computers are huge, the software that's on them is ever expanding. No one person knows how everything works. And so we need to understand, where do we draw that line? Where can we optimize and be more efficient in our learning? Because learning is part of the job, it's part of being a programmer. So when I ask you to read unfamiliar code, you're getting practice with this skill, because if you intuitively know how code is working without having to learn it, that's a huge win. That means you don't need to spend time on that because you get it already. Your intuition is right on target. And then, where your intuition was not aligned with what actually happened when you ran the code, that's where you want to deepen your learning. That's an indicator that, oh, I need to spend a little more time here because I need to change my mindset, my perspective, and my thinking on how that works. And so, this is our secret weapon at any level of learning how to program, of how to figure out where our gaps in our knowledge are and then correct them as quickly and efficiently as possible so we can move on and solve problems. So that's reason number one. The second reason is for practice. Because think about it for a minute. When you first learned English, we began by reading, not just diving straight into writing. And so, just like reading well can make us a better writer in English, learning to read and understand code that others have written will also help make us better programmers, because we can now learn not just from books or websites, but what from other people are doing in their code. And so that's also a huge tool in our toolbox for learning how to become better programmers. And when we have this skill of being able to read and understand code that others have written, it helps us in that we can adapt solutions to meet our needs. So you may not have come across it yet, but Stack Overflow is a question answer website for coding questions, and people and students and coders go on there all the time. But if you can't understand what the examples mean, you can't use them in your own code and adapt them. And so learning to take a template of code that's close to what you want and adapting it is a hugely important skill, which you can only do if you can read and understand other code that other people have written. In addition, you can start integrating new features into existing software projects. You can adapt existing software to better meet your needs. And so, learning how to read and understand code is super important. Not only does it help make your learning more efficient in this course, but it's a tool that you will carry with you throughout your coding career. So, I highly recommend, in all of these exercises we do, it's never too early to learn and develop this skill. And in the beginning, you might throw up your hands and be like, I have no clue. And that's okay. That's wonderful. That's great. But gradually over time, the goal is that you'll be honing your intuition. But if you don't try at all, you'll never get there. And so I urge you to start these reading exercises. Don't rush ahead and just look at the solutions. Take your time, try and dig in, try and see if you can understand them before you look at the solutions. All right, let's practice with our very, very first reading exercise. Let's get to it.